Yeah. Yo, we are back again.
We doing this shit for y'all. Trust me, this is for y'all.
We are back again at the S.H.I.T.S podcast. Well, he either shooting the shit, starting some shit,
or check 1 2. We picking up with shit left off.
Shit.
For real this time.
Literally.
Hey man, I'm your host, Monsoon Starrah, the coolest cat you heard thus far.
Yo, I'm Bubba Ball, one of the dreads you can't catch at the mall unless it's an outlet mall.
Yer. Hey, special guest to the podcast this week. Like I said before, yo, the fucking mayor of Humboldt Park, dope MC, dope host, producer, just all around cool cat. Yo, I want y'all to make some noise for my man, Puerto Rican-ism Prism.
That's a tough act to follow right there. You put a lot of pressure. Now I just gotta be raw now.
Yeah,
I gotta be top of the line.
Gotta be. Yo.
To fill, right, Bubba Ball?
Yes, sir.
Hey, the board is lit up.
shoes.
The board is lit up this time, so we good.
Yeah.
Yo, welcome to the S.H.I.T.S podcast, y'all. Yo, so before we go any further, man, shout out to the Chicago Clubhouse Sports Podcast. Yo, coming up in July, we're gonna start hitting y'all with the Sip and Step Sundays for all the steppers out there, all the cats out there loving that Gerald Levert.
Bobby Womack.
But Keith Sweat.
Yeah.
My last $2.
Johnny Taylor.
Who else? Who else? Another stepping favorite.
I like K-John.
K-John is bad.
Damn,
K-John is
Out
bad.
there on the ocean.
No, my ship is coming in.
It's
Ooh,
coming.
I got one for y'all ass. Kim.
Kim.
Girl.
Oh, girl.
You don't know about that.
Girl. I just like how he say girl. He say it like you got a curl.
Hey, boy, every time I listen to Kim, it make you feel like you want to do some adult shit like mow the lawn or like organize your garage and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Or sit in your garden and drink wine.
One got motivated, the other one chilled. Laid back.
Baby
also,
boy mama type shit. She out there listening to Kim. Girl, she lifting her glass up in her tomato patch and shit.
All right, man. So look. All right, so I got also give a shout out to a black-owned company that's making products. I mean, not just for black people, but they're making body butter, beard pomade, oils for the women, Glow Butter Baby. The shit just sound cold. Glow Butter Baby.
Try to
Glow
say
Butter
that
Baby.
3 times fast.
Glow Butter Baby. 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 Ooh, on your body. Shout out to the Block 105 Radio, www.block105.com. Hey, y'all can check us out every Friday, 9 a.m. on the Block Radio, www.theblock105.com. Also, y'all hit up the website, www.theshitspodcast.com, www.theshitspodcast.com. At the Red House.
Get that merch. That shirt tight, boy.
Yo,
Big
check
shout
it
out back of Durs.
Y'all can get the shirt. Hey man, shout out to the Red House Furniture Company, man. That shit was funny as hell. Did you see that shit? That shit was funny as hell, bro. Yo, but anyway, our guest this week, man, is our man Puerto Rican-ism Prism, man. So we like to do a check-in, man. So check in, tell us how your week been, bro.
Man, it's been very productive in the sense that I've been trying to learn how to, and maybe you could expound upon this or maybe share some insight, some wisdom with me. The reality is there's a lot of things that it takes in terms of time management to understand how to evolve as a man. Oh. Right? And I don't want to get too deep this early in the podcast, but understanding, okay, cool, here are my responsibilities, to provide.
Yep.
Then here's my responsibilities to teach.
Yep.
Right? My significant other. And then my responsibilities to pour wisdom for the children. Right. But the significant other, they need to learn from us as well.
They got to be taught too.
You know what I'm saying? So learning how to time manage those things in the course of the day, especially when we make ourselves busy. Now, busy and productive are two separate things. Busy is not necessarily means productive.
Right.
But I mean, attempting to understand how to time manage the day to be productive in all of those facets of life. So that's how my week went, and I'm still trying to figure it out. So, it doesn't have to happen on the podcast if you don't want to, but maybe later you could, as an experienced person at this, you could share some insight for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bubba Ball, what about you, man? How was your week, bro? While he rolling up the woods.
Hey,
Listen.
you could just listen. You could just
You could just hit
people
it
out there.
being bit.
People
But
out there
listen,
listening.
man, the week started off kind of fucked up. I noticed I got flashed by 2 of those fucking camera things.
Oh shit.
So I'm kind of expecting something in the mail. I hope I don't
I
get
thought
shit in
you-
the mail, but you know,
I thought you got flash for something.
no. I did. You know,
would've
it
been
was
positive.
hot. I just didn't look. I drive around my shades on. They only know I look at them when they see my nose like look their way. They like, oh, he checking me out. Let me whip this shit. Like, girl, if you don't get that 80-year-old titty on that 30-year-old butt, girl,
man.
get out of here. But yeah,
They need
I got flashed by a
titty
couple
Tapioca in a hefty bag.
red lights and it was crazy, man. Like the accidents and the crazy, like just the abandoned cars,
Yep.
the cars that have had accidents that, you know, doors were out. It's just crazy, man, how you ride past and see a lot of shit. You know, Chicago officially opened for us, I want to say Sunday. 75th Street was just off
Bussin'.
the rip, bro. It took me almost 25, 30 minutes to get from like King Drive to State Street to get on the E-way.
Nigga, they was calling it Cheyenne.
It was. It looked like that, bro. But
Bussin'.
the highlight of the whole week was I went and filled the tank up last night and almost forgot that I had to go to my son's graduation today. My nigga came across the stage like. And let me tell y'all this. This graduation was every bit of 35 minutes from the time we walked in. Saturday, you know, principal came up, said this woo woo woo, salutatorian, valedictorian, called everybody names. We went outside, took pictures in the photo drops they had out there for
They got
us.
photo drops?
Yeah, they had bro. The school, I'm not gonna lie, they set it out on the outside. I just feel like they could have let you bring more than 3 family members.
Yeah.
Like
They be cheap
it's more than
with that
3
shit.
family members in your household.
They be cheap with that shit.
You know, it's like fuck, bro. Like, yeah.
Might be all these
was
protocols
weak,
in
man.
place.
But other than that, man, it was a great week for me, man. How was your week, man?
Yo, first of all, like I said, I feel like I said this before. Shout out. I mean, I got to give a shout out to my family. We lost my auntie Lizette. So
man, rest in peace, man.
shout out, man. I'm at a loss for words. Like my auntie Lizette was one of the coolest aunties I had, man. Like for real.
Yeah.
So shout out to my cousin Lafayette, my cousin Tanya, and all my family because we really lost a good one. On a lighter note, new music drop from Chicago's own Say So, and also Chicago's own Rose Red. So y'all hit that shit up on all digital platforms. Check them out. They got dope music out there. They got dope, like Chicago got dope shit coming out, man.
That's right.
Like, also, we'll get into my man Prism.
Fire.
He got dope shit.
We got heat.
Yeah.
You see this?
That's
we got
it.
heat.
That's it. And that's heat.
Chicago got some heat. Touch
That's
that
it.
prison. Let them know how. Man, got heat. He let you know it's real. We got some real heat in Chicago.
Hey,
94 fucking degrees outside. We got
It
some
is.
heat.
It is. But I gotta say this, man. I am happy that Chicago is supposedly quote unquote opening back up. However, I do have my concerns, bro.
About what?
Such as
Like you said, with the driving. Motherfuckers driving real fucking stupid nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, slow down. You know, two, we gotta chill with the arguing and the fights, man. Like, y'all was just in the crib. You get what I'm saying? So enjoy the fact that stuff is opening back up, man. You know, so just be cool. I'm trying to figure out if the movie theater's gonna open back up though.
They
Some of them have.
slow.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely everything will, yeah.
Okay, because I kind of miss the movies, man. I do. I kind of miss the movies. So anyway, we're going to take a break real quick, and we coming right back with this interview with Chicago's own Puerto Ricanism Prism. Yo, he got hot music out. My man got a catalog. He got a track record. If
sure.
you lived in Chicago and you ain't never heard of Prism, then your ears must be full of wax. Or you must have been on quarantine for the last 20, 30 years, man. But anyway, shout out to all the people out there who love real hip hop and who actually pay to get in and don't just try to get in for free. Cheap ass. Yo, we can come right back, y'all. It's the shits. It's the shits.
Yeah. Fridays, 9 a.m. Catch us at www.theblock105. It's the shits. We coming through.
We are back at the Shits Podcast. And we out here chilling with Chicago's own Puerto Ricanism, PR-ism. the mayor of Humboldt Park. Hey, for any black person, if you worry and you go in Humboldt Park and you worry about getting accosted by any Latino, tell them you know Puerto Ricanism and you good. You gonna get a pass, goddammit. Real shit. Yeah. So anyway, prison. For people that don't know, where you from, bro?
Born and raised Chicago, Illinois, Humboldt Park. Grew up on the west side of the park.
Okay.
And then as my teens progressed and I started going to school, I ended up going over to the east side of the park. So
What school you went to?
I went to multiple schools. We moved multiple times because at some points in my life, I didn't even have a place to live.
Oh,
so we moved multiple times. We jumped from home to home, from, hard living to it never was middle class even, but it helped forge me to become the person that I am today. But
exactly.
I went to school at multiple schools from Gaethje, all over Chicago area, to Lafayette, to Chopin, to there's schools that in my youth I can't even remember the names of.
Damn.
But I had jumped from school to school multiple times within even a grade. At one point, there was a full season that I had missed out on school because I wasn't accepted to a school based on the fact that I was currently enrolled in another school. So I essentially took a portion of that year off. So that's a whole nother puzzle piece to put together. But Roberto Clemente is a school that
yeah.
I'm from class of 95, showing my age for y'all right there.
Shit, you came out a year before me.
Young man.
Yeah. We still young.
And from that point forward, I really had to try to figure things out because in my high school years prior to graduation, both of my parents were already gone from my life in the sense that they had been passed away. So
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
you know what I'm saying? They're in a better place is what I always say. But what it did was it forced me to try to understand what it took to become a man and try to sustain myself.
And how old were you at that time?
Oh, I was probably still 16 or 17 years old when that happened.
Wow.
So at that point, I ended up having to go get a job. I wasn't able to further my education because I had to figure out how to essentially find a place to live, put a roof over my head. 3 things: clothes on my back, roof over my head, food in my stomach, right?
Yeah.
So those are the things, a lot
Survival
of people take
kit,
for granted.
for real, yeah.
People take those type of things for granted, but those are the things that were the main focus for an individual like me. Sometimes people don't even have to worry about that. That just comes. It's just given. And obviously, how the cliche goes. Saying goes, we want to create a better path for our children and give them the things that we didn't have. But again, I don't want to get too deep onto that path. Essentially, from that point, I got deep into music. One of my cousins, he was actually doing what was called hip house at the time.
Okay.
What was Fast Eddie and
M. Dot.
Fast Eddie, White Knight. There were quite a few artist at the time.
Mr. Lee? Was it Mr. Lee too?
That's an artist that I'm not familiar with by name, probably the song.
Yeah.
But he was already in the studio at that time. I was probably about 14 years old at the time, and he would bring me in to do the choruses. So I was actually in a recording studio doing the choruses for him, recording on ADATs at the time, which before digital recording that we have now. Yeah, so what that did was simply inspire me. Obviously, that gave me an opportunity to look at writing rhymes, and I didn't even know what bars were, but I just used to write my paragraphs. And
what's crazy about that? It's a lot of artists nowadays that don't know what bars are. But go ahead though.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. You're right about that. I have to say, Monsoon and I, we've rocked many shows, and we've seen that happen many times, and it's kind of cool because we've been in positions to where we've hosted events and we had to kind of veer people into the bar structure.
Yeah.
So we, in a low key way, kind of was
teaching.
Yeah, I don't want to say it that way, but yes.
That's what it is. It's teaching.
It's pulling coattails and knowing how to do it and not doing it to the point where you embarrass them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You just say, I see, everybody has to have a way to communicate. You know what I mean? And this person could be better than you, but he don't know what a fucking 16 is. He's giving 24s and rambling, and you're gonna lose the attention of people. You know what I mean? So
you gotta be like, listen,
right.
This dude's whack.
Oh wow, yeah, we got an inside joke about that one. Y'all already know.
That's just crazy, man.
So speaking of Chicago music, man, can you remember how did you get your start?
Right.
Chicago music. Like, what do you think was that moment where it was like people felt like, who is that dude?
Well, it's kind of cool because there were a lot of artists out there at the time, like your Erratic Statics, an artist called Thaw 4. Matlock was already still around too when I was doing it very in the early age. That's why I give him credit too. Shout out to all of them.
Yeah, shout out to Matlock. Yeah.
You know, and I was already making music. I was recording at home on a double cassette tape deck, doing my voiceovers off the double cassette tape deck. So I was figuring out ways to do it. You know what I mean? Like in my early age, 16 years old, and I was about 16 or 17 when a place called La Village Cafe opened up, and it was an 18 over venue where they were doing hip hop, and hip hop was like, again, going back to the hip house part of it. Hip hop hadn't come to Chicago in a way where it was the prominent sound. It was still hip house at the time, at least where I was from. Hip hop gradually began to take over, and I had an opportunity to perform, even though I was underage. So I took it upon myself. A couple of my buddies and myself, who were also underage, were able to get into the place. We already had, at the time, probably about 5 or 6 songs. And those songs were on industry beats. So we would come in and perform essentially what would be categorized today as a mixtape.
Okay.
And we had our material tight. We had our choruses. We had our verses. All structure was there. And
So wait, what was the name of the crew?
the Morlock Crew.
The Morlock Crew.
Yes, the Morlock Crew. Like underground, the Morlocks, like from the H.G. Wells novel, The Time Machine. Such as the Morlocks that come above and grab Eloy. You'd have to read the book to get the storyline. But essentially, they work underground to keep the Eloy alive. However, when they're hungry and they need sustenance, they come up and get the Eloy. So even though they look like they're doing the dirty work, they're actually overseeing the whole situation.
All right, so who thought of that?
That's from the H.G. Wells novel, The Time Machine. As far as the title goes,
I mean, I'm saying who idea was it to say, well, this is what we're gonna be?
The Morlock Crew. So we're very underground. We're coming out with an album. Actually, the pre-release is 6/11, June 11th, and the actual release will be next week.
Okay.
With that being said, the Morlock Crew album is finally going to be done. We consider ourselves more underground MCs. What I mean by that is very lyrical, not necessarily storyline driven or concept driven. More just bars.
And you got a term for that, which what you call what?
Sauce.
Call it sauce. And why you call it that?
So sauce, there's 4 brackets in music at the time that I was theorizing. One was classics, songs that are timeless, that you can listen to now and still are really, really good. Then you got heat. Heat is something that comes and goes, like it's a trend. It's hot for the time being, and then boom, it disappears.
Like that's Nelly.
Well, that's why I don't like jumping on the bandwagon of certain hot music. I listen to it to a degree, but I don't really let it influence me. Then you got the sauce. The sauce is music that you would see some artists, underground artists, go up and perform, such as myself. So I'm guilty. Stand on stage and give them these really heavy bars, and you got to be really kind of tuned into that to get it. And typically in the audience, what you will see is mostly male. But you will be surprised that there'll be a sprinkle of females actually knowing your lyrics, knowing your hook. So that's sauce. It's just heavily lyrical. It's not the turn up music that you would anticipate going to the club for and turning up to.
Heavy lyrical with a following, almost like.
So it wouldn't be Nelly.
Then you have the fourth bracket, because I cut it into quarters here, and that's the anti-sauce. That's your reggaeton. That's your club bangers. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that you do go to the club for on that terrain, even if you like the music or not.
Cardi B.
If you were a DJ, you wouldn't be playing the songs that you want to play for yourself for the crowd, right?
Right.
That's not your playlist is different from the playlist that you would
supposedly.
Right. So you want to play for the crowd. Allegedly. You want to play for the crowd. That's the anti-sauce. That's the stuff that gets the crowd moving, even though it's not necessarily the sound that you vibe to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Facts.
See, now y'all got it. The 4 categories of music. Now ask yourself.
I agree with that though.
Ask yourself what you make. Are you making anti-sauce? Are you making sauce? Are you making heat? Or are you making classics? So let me ask you this. I'm going to throw 4 names out there real quick, and I want you to put them in a category. Quick.
If you give me the opportunity to ask you for 5 names, go.
Okay, cool. Cardi B.
Cardi B, Heat.
Okay. Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. Classics.
Polo G.
Haven't listened to it, and I really haven't listened too much of Kendrick either. I don't really listen to a lot of music in general because I don't want it to influence me, but I'm aware of them. Polo G, I haven't listened to thoroughly enough.
All right.
I can't really give you an honest opinion.
Nas.
Classics.
One more. What did I say 4?
You said 3.
Okay.
You gave me Cardi, Polo G. No, you gave me Kendrick. One more. Now you gave me 4.
Yeah, you go.
KRS-One.
KRS-One. There's a. It would be like a hot sauce, right? So you got a blend. You got the hot sauce.
Okay.
It's sauce, but it's for the heads.
Yeah.
Right? And that particular following is large.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
There's a demographic of people that want that.
Okay, I'll take the 5. Give me the 5. Give me the 5.
Yeah. Top 5 MCs. Oh,
My top 5.
Your
We did
top 5.
We did this before.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
But I haven't heard it though. And one thing I want to say this before he answers, because he already has his answers. He's a real MC.
Thank you.
So this to me, I'm really paying attention. So y'all better pay close attention.
Yeah, my
He's
top-
probably gonna go way back.
No, I'm
somewhere,
not. I'm not. My top 5. Andre 3000.
Nice.
Fonte from
Underrated.
Right.
Underrated.
Fonte from Little Brother.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta get put up on him.
Nas.
Hard.
Common.
Okay.
So I gotta put one more in there.
Common. Ooh, Common. Chicago. Big shout out.
Yeah.
And
Man, those are good lyricists right there.
you know what? You saying top 5?
Top 5. That's hard. It's a hard one because you gotta
My la-
omit
Rakim.
Rakim. Like Rakim the
Top
Master.
5.
Rakim
Top
the
5.
Master. He
Rakim
the one,
Beastie.
He the one brought that swing, that cadence,
Yeah.
that voice,
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean? He was rapping to you. He was telling that story.
So
Yeah, he was beast.
okay, we gotta take a break real quick.
Yeah.
And we come right back. Yo, shout out to all the MCs out there who try to spit their written rhymes but didn't write the rhymes right and they can't remember.
And I got one more name to ask you later.
Okay, it's the shits.
It's your boy Gerald Desserts. I fucks with the Shits podcast. It's the Shits.
Yo, we are back at the Shits podcast. We are talking to Chicago's own Puerto Ricanism.
Yeah.
We just got done talk about 5 dope MCs. Talk about Heat, Sauce, Classic, and Heat. Y'all better write that shit down. That is Chicago.
Take notes.
You heard that shit, Chicago. So what was you about to say?
If I had one name for you that I wanted from you, right?
Okay.
And I've been thinking about this too because I wanted to ask you. Again, I'm asking a real MC here. This is a real MC. This dude, I'm talking about choruses,
Thank you.
verses, song structure. The guy that's the hub of the creative process. He's
Thank
a real
you.
MC, and he could go out on stage and perform as well. So some people
appreciate
could
that.
go in there and be in the booth and be nice, but not perform. He could do that. Come in there, lay it down from start to bottom, from start to finish. Is what I'm trying to tell you. A real
Thank
MC.
you.
Not just booth, not just live, not just freestyle, not just written. So this is the reason why I wanted to ask him this, because this, what he's gonna say, merits, it has value. But it's kind of a fun question. So nothing too heavy. In a versus battle, who you got? Who are you calling out?
If I had to do a versus
A
battle,
versus battle.
if I had to put up my
10 songs.
catalog against somebody else's,
10 songs.
oh man,
And there's a twist to it.
Oh,
There's
shit.
a twist to it. An indie artist and a mainstream artist.
see, I mean,
I don't want you to have to call out an indie if you don't want to, but I want you to
I
give
mean,
me a
like
mainstream.
put like
for
this
sure.
on some fun shit. If I had to do if I had to go song for song
Yeah.
with somebody from let's say from the city, and I say this because I respect this dude a lot and I respect his work. I would say Race Bannon.
Race Bannon.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Back to
Yeah.
back, song for song.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
hold
would say
up.
Race.
Okay.
Now, I can't ask you this because I was about to, but it's not fair because you'd have a biased opinion. And you might even say him just because you're humble.
Yeah,
Who wins that?
Who's Race?
Yeah, who wins that? Race or Soon? 10 tracks. Who gets the most points?
I don't know, cause I'm not
Familiar with his catalog?
yeah, I ain't up on Race's
All
catalog.
right, cool. Let's leave it at that then, because we don't want to. It's like speculating between two boxers.
yeah. I mean, and
But you always got to
See it on
remember, for
paper.
somebody to say, see, you asked him who would he want to battle.
Yes.
So that means Steel go start sharp and Steel.
Yes.
He bringing his best shit,
Right.
and he already know he bringing his best shit. So it
I
ain't
like
gonna
that.
be nothing. You know what I mean? Weak.
and
So
and
I
that's
love
why
the
I
lens
said,
he's looking at it from too.
yeah, and that's why I said because I followed Race's work for
Yes,
years, and I
yes.
feel like that's a dude that I respect his work. So I think
Yeah,
that
I
would
remember
be,
since he had like short locks, then he went
Yeah.
short and all that.
Now, let me
Like,
ask you this, since you
like
brought up the verses.
bigwig days.
what is your outtake on verses? Like, I think that the verses is for these whoever two artists, whatever they come from, to bring their best body of work and showcase their best selections of their bodies of work. No matter if it's 20 songs or whatever, I got to come in with 30 because I don't know what the fuck you might bring out your bag. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, what's your opinion on
counter
that?
punches? Okay, so my opinion on this.
It's not like a battle. I don't receive it as a battle.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what my opinion is. Here's the nuance to that, however. My take on it is that it's a celebration. A celebration.
I get you.
Right?
I agree with that.
A celebration of artists that we should pay homage to, especially if you listen to them and at some point you were somewhat influenced by them, right? So like LL Cool J, he don't want to come out and just do a versus with anybody.
No.
So like he doesn't want to lose his mystique and look bad against specific type of people.
But it would be hard for somebody to beat him,
or crush somebody that's too
I think
easy
he'd
work,
crush
right?
anybody.
Yeah, his body of work is insane.
Except KRS One.
People be sleeping on him. Like I came up listening to him as well, like from the hard stuff to the
nothing can beat I Need Love. I Need Love comes on, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
He got I'm that type of guy, then all the way down to I'm gonna knock you out. Like he got hard stuff and he got smooth stuff.
I hit y'all with a classic line though.
Yeah.
Bikini, small,
Heels,
tall.
This my part.
She said she like the ocean.
Man, show me the beach.
Now,
Gave
one
me
of the
a
examples,
And bust out the suntan.
lotion.
one of the examples, direct examples that I could give you to answer that question would be Premier versus RZA. It was more of a celebration, right? So Premier, it wasn't about who won and lost to me. I'm deep into Wu-Tang, but I grew up on Premier too because I had the Gangstar
I did
Hard to
grow up
Earn
on
album.
Premier.
Like that's how I grew up.
I was a
listening to
little
all of that.
disgusted in Premier's selection.
Well, here's the thing. Premier knew what he was up against, right? So like Premier, his sound is very well known. It's a signature sound. RZA's is as well. They have a different area of the world that
Their
they really
impact
dominate.
is different, yeah.
Dominate.
Yeah.
So Premier knew what he was up against, but I'm telling you, like from the hip hop realm, the heads, they know what they were seeing and they understand. You know what I mean? Like, okay, look, let's look at this as it's not necessarily. It's more of an exhibition. It's more of a celebration.
Let me tell you,
we're listening to like.
Since you brought that
all
up,
of this nostalgia.
and I'm glad you brought that up. That battle made everybody get on their fucking toes because I'm gonna tell you something. He played. Now to his defense, all those songs that he played were probably great songs to him, but versus material, they weren't that, bro. Every song, if you look this song title up right now, and you look at what Primo played and what RZA played like the some of the 20, 30 most phenomenal joints he made, and it wasn't all Wu-Tang neither.
Yeah.
But when Primo played like Group Home, you know what I mean? Songs
I'd like
like
to-
that, bro.
I'd like
the
to
beats,
touch on that.
Yeah,
I'd like to touch
man.
on that because-
it was just his selection and RZA's selection was, I think they were their own. Like you say, it was him picking it. But why he picked it, I want to know that. I want to know why Primo picked these songs that, in my opinion, were nowhere near what.
Yo, check this
bro,
out.
you can't put.
Check this out. Remember Ashanti and Keisha Cole?
Yeah.
Boom.
That was classic too, almost.
Ashanti was watching Boom, and they already knew, like,
And
okay,
Keisha Cole
cool.
energy though.
Yeah, Keisha Cole came. But here's the thing. I'm biased on that one, but like I'm not gonna talk about who I thought won. Regardless,
Go ahead. This your opinion.
Well, what I want to really highlight is the strategy to it. Right?
Okay,
So
go
there was
ahead.
a strategy. She was listening to a song, and even Primo did it. Primo was like, "Yo, I knew you were gonna come out with this, so I
Right,
had this,
right,
drippy,
boom.
drippy, boom, and
Yep.
it just hit you with like, oh." And I could just see it. Everybody's
yeah.
like, "Yo, Primo got this round, boom, boom." People are interacting with it live in real time, which I thought was phenomenal. But
Which is the showmanship of it.
yes, but essentially there's a strategy to it. People ain't just going out there blank and going, okay, here are my 20. I'm gonna just go play from 1 to 20.
Nah.
They got notes like, yo, if he comes out with, incarcerated
playing
Scarfaces,
this. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him with this one.
Yeah.
So there's a
It
strategy
wasn't
to
like the
play at that
Gucci
as
Man
well.
and Jeezy.
Now how it comes out,
Smoking on the pokey low tonight.
Yeah, that was bogus.
I'll end it with this thought. The reason why Primo, and I might be wrong, maybe the reason why the song selection was what it was is based on the numbers. And that's something that I like to talk to you about as well. Because just because, and even we know Deca Dur's very talented producer, beat maker. Like he works on multiple formats. I could give him a computer with like a super simple software and he'll come out with a dope beat. If I give him my phone right now and I say, yo, here's a beat making app, he'll come out and give me like a dope sketch.
Yeah.
So when it comes to something like that, for example, and I almost lost my train of thought, but as it pertains to Primo, RZA, man.
Keisha Cole, Ashanti.
No. Man, I lost my train of thought.
Please
as it
don't say
pertains to
Teddy
it.
Riley, because the Teddy Riley and Babyface one was that one was not up to par. You know,
Man.
the Teddy Riley kind of looked a little bit lost.
I got it. The beats that he might play for you, that he feels are the symphonies,
Yeah,
you might be like, it's lukewarm. But the beat that he plays for you, that he feels like it's the simple joint,
yeah.
it might ring to you. You might be like, yo, this resonates. I could rock this. I got something for this.
It's about beat selection.
It's so crazy. But here's the thing. It's not only, and this is the reason why I wanted to have a conversation with you, because the numbers, right? Okay, cool. Just because from a song perspective, I was just giving it to you from a beat perspective.
Okay.
From a song perspective, we got the songs that we think are our hottest catalog pieces. But that's not necessarily what the numbers show,
Nah.
right? Like the crowd might like X, Y, and Z track, but you wanted to give them A, B, and C.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Like, how do we know what's the...
but I think that kind of goes back to when you start asking the question about dope MCs and top MCs, because it's kind of like for a person to have that gift to make something that they not only feel is dope, but it actually touch other motherfuckers, then that's dope. Yo, we gotta take a break. We come right back. Yo, shout out to everybody who think Young MC is the top 5 MC and need to get off that dope. It's
Big
the Shits podcast, y'all. It's the shit.
Tone Loc.
For all erotic needs and adult needs, hit up Cole Pleasures, COLE Pleasures.com. That's www.colepleasures.com. It's the shits. Yeah, back at the Shits podcast. We was talking about the phenomenal catalog of Young MC. We're here talking with PR-ism. Hey, yo, Young MC, if you listening, Deca Durst is looking for you. He's currently looking for you.
Hey, he been
some beats
baking
for
in the
you.
cut.
So you said, you had something you want to ask Bubba Ball.
Yeah. So, with everything that's going on in the playoffs right now, a hot topic.
Yeah.
I don't want to get him too started, because we know our Bubba. I just met him today, but he's ultra energetic. He got mad.
That's
he got
dope.
opinions
That
on-
season, man.
He got,
Come
he
on
got
with it.
It's his
opinions.
birthday. It's still his birthday.
He got opinions on multiple subject matter and logical too. I'm listening to him. I'm like, man.
Wait till you hear the underlay for the overplay. Go ahead, though.
Thinking then speaking.
Word on the street, Bubba Ball used to go to Simeon.
Come on, man.
Now, my question is, but could you hoop though?
Guess what my jersey was?
Oh, see, I ain't even know this. Tell me. What
Hold
is
up, let me guess. The same number is Bron.
My number was 25. The same number is
What that
who?
mean?
The late great Ben Wilson.
Ooh.
And the coach assigned the jersey, so he gave out
Crowd
the
going
jersey.
wild.
And everybody, when I got that 25, was like, "Man, bro, how you get Ben jersey, man?" My jersey still had the tape on the fucking collar. And anybody know what that mean? That mean you like captain. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to be the captain and shit. So
Wanted to play MJ on the Barcelona team. You lay back and score 14.
yeah, but you ask anybody that went to Simeon, they'll tell you I was out the gym. My main thing, my idol in the NBA was Sean Kemp.
I love Sean Kemp.
We got to get him out of retirement soon.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. I'm putting this out there.
Our 5 against your 5. What are you gonna say?
I fuck around go get Mark G.
Big shout out to Mark G.
Bruce Black.
Big shout out Bruce Black.
I was gonna say Red, but
Hey,
but go get. I got a 5. We got a 5. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go against some people. Let me ask you this though.
bring it. My boy Peter Jericho, he said he could hoop, and I told him bring your 5.
Okay. Oh man, I gotta go. Okay, that's next.
Uh-oh.
Who inspires you, bro?
Who inspires me? That's an interesting question. Again, when I started with music, my cousin was the one that was doing the hip house music at the time.
Okay.
And I gradually transitioned over to hip hop. Early, started listening to a lot of Wu, Enter the 36. And again, there's songs, there's music that predates that, like Don't Push Me, cause I'm close to the
Edge.
Woo, look at that. He already knows.
not to
You already
lose
know.
my head.
But at that time, I wouldn't say that influenced me on the MC side. I was still on a cardboard at that point.
Yeah, you was breaking this shit.
Yeah,
breaking.
yeah. I was still on the cardboard at that
breaking.
point, experimenting with the other elements.
That was just the hip hop era, though.
Yes, that's when
definitely.
it started coming in for me. That's when I started to be like, what is he doing? That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I hadn't heard anything like that before. That's what I was like, and it inspired me to move. Feel
The
me?
birth,
Like,
that's like the birth of hip hop. Like I think about when I came into hip hop, I was going to like euphonics and shit like that in High Park, hanging out with the Kenwood kids
Them
and
was
shit
the
like
spots,
that.
G.
Yeah, and the craziest shit is like I remember hanging out with Common at WHBK or WHBC or whatever that shit was
No,
in
HBK,
High Park,
HBK,
HBK, right?
HBK.
And I got turned on to HBK by accident. I was trying to find WKKC. KKC was similar, but HBK was like 88.5. KKC was 89.3. And I heard them playing like an NWA song.
Hey,
the
bro.
full version.
Yep.
And I started listening. I paid attention to the night and the time.
Yeah.
And I made sure I tuned in every week, bro. And when I finally got to that studio, nigga, man, listen, that was my Disney World, bro. I never been somewhere like all my life. I've been like a crate boy. Anybody that was DJing in the neighborhood and shit, I would always ask them like, when you DJing, let me know. I carry your crates and your music and shit because everybody had
On that pop.
turntables, mics, and music, and they needed help with that shit. Like a DJ takes at least 35 to an hour, depending on what he got. All these wires and shit. Like you had 2 crates full of wires.
Yeah.
Bro, it was phenomenal
So-
just being introduced into the hip hop scene.
You said WKKC.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know this. The first place that I met Deca Durs, he was working. He was a DJ at WKKC.
Get the fuck
Then no bullshit.
Get out of here.
That's how
dog.
far
No
he go
bullshit.
back. That's how
No
far he go
bullshit.
back.
I'm showing my age. That's how far I go back. Way back to was it
Pink House was still alive,
the
Woody
1200
Durst.
crew? Was it the 1200 crew when we came through there?
I don't remember.
But me, Brian, Lance, I think it was you interviewed us, bro. But yeah, Durge used to be
Wow.
at WKKC. Yeah. So all right,
Shots
Rest in
fired.
peace, Pink House,
But,
man.
but
Rest
my
in
cousin,
peace, man.
my cousin really just put me up on some other music aside from his own. He put
Okay.
me up on P Rock and CL Smooth.
Oh, one of
I
the
got my
greatest.
Philly at home. Can I get another? I want to get blunt in my brother. He
Them
put me
niggas
up
make
on
a
that. I'm
spark.
like, yo,
That's
what
nice
are they
and smooth.
doing, dude?
Yeah,
These
nice and
dudes too
smooth,
smooth with it.
yeah.
He put me up on like a whole nother coast. Be Real, Cypress Hill. I was listening to that at the time. Like, these were my exposures to different styles, right? He put me up on Fushnikins.
What?
Yeah, the
I'm not gonna
I'm
try
a
to
true
rap that
one.
shit.
I am a true Fushnik. I'm a
yeah.
true, and I like that
But do the
because
verse,
that's
though.
like that's mad
Rap
energy.
the verse.
Wiggity rapper?
Yep.
Yeah, some shit
And
like
that-
that. That's all I know at the beginning.
And that to me, the energy that they possessed was more kind of what I gravitated to individually as a performer at the time.
Tongue twisting, yeah.
So not only from what I've witnessed, not only are you an MC, you're also a phenomenal host. So you've done the Rhyme Spitters battles, you did the Love Spitters battles, not Love Spitters battles, but Love Spitters. Numerous open mics, and what I've always commended you on is that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's been consistent. Anybody who knows
He
Prism,
talking about me. He
And
good
the
behind
ladies,
the mic.
and the
Yeah.
ladies come through too. You know what I mean? To see your boy. Hey, you might get 7 or 8.
Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it
He
again.
got the Puerto Rican Casanova look. Hey man, hit me up when you go out. I'm gonna be your wingman. I'm taking up all the scraps.
Hey, I'm a really good wingman too. I just
And it's-
now I defer.
But I think that it's just that energy. So like even like you've always had the energy. So like even when we went to Minnesota, when the network crew went to Minnesota,
Okay.
and we did the
Hold
show.
up. He's giving me flowers.
There you go.
No, come on, man.
Come on, man.
When we-
Come on.
Hey,
This is what
hold
we
up.
do. This is what we do now.
We grew up, bro.
When we-
the ego's out the way. We grew up.
When we
I like
did
this.
when we did the show and everybody else was tired and headed on back to the hotel room, you were still out there in the streets of Minnesota selling motherfucking network crew CDs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And to this day, the CD is Infinite Autonomy presents the network.
A strong
That-
one too. That's a strong Chicago classic. Y'all pick that up.
That fucking CD, Mark told me, he showed me, that CD was selling for $25 as a collector's item, G. So I said, so I give you your props, man. Like,
Well, let
dude.
me bounce that energy back on you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Oh, shit. What year was that? 2000 what?
Like maybe 04, I'm guessing.
04,
I'm guessing.
like,
I'm just
yeah.
going by the era of what music I made.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. With that being said, let me bounce that energy back on you, right? Because it brings me to my next question for you.
Uh-oh.
And that is, number one, how I came across this, man. I went over there, boom. They already had an established open mic. The network crew wasn't fully assembled at the time in my impression.
It was just me and Mark.
There's a two-part question for you, too, because I wanted to ask you. Well, I'm going to ask you. I don't want to just put it out there before I make the statement, though, because I got to give you your flowers, too. One thing, and I already knew I was going to say this before you said that, so I wanted to bring this up. But what Monsoon did was give me an opportunity to utilize his platform, a platform that he and Mark already had established, which brings me to this moment now. He has his platform, and he's giving me an opportunity to share that platform with him, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Like, before we even started recording, I was like, yo, we're all here. And we started all the way over here, and we're here now, right? So he gave me an opportunity to do that, got to know me better. We all ended up becoming part of the crew. So the first part of the question is, how did the crew truly come to form? Because I only really have an idea about how it is. Being in it, I never really paid attention to exactly how it occurred.
Yeah.
Everything was pretty organic.
Yeah.
So sharing that opportunity with me, sharing that platform with me then at the Big Wig at the time, and then allowing me to host, almost step on his toes a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But he allowed me to do so. And then to this point now, where he's at with the podcast, and then of course the second part to that question, and I know we got to roll, but what made you decide to take this path? And then I got to explain to you why I was hating on you for that. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the network crew was formed by me and Mark G. I gotta wrap it up real quick because Decker Dur's giving me the finger. So you know what? We're gonna take a break real quick and come right back and I'm explaining this shit. Yo,
Y'all better stick around. This is gonna be really interesting. This is history.
shout out to everybody that went to the Big Wig and went down to Wendy's afterwards. It's the shit.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Milk and Dream, the Milk and Nightmare, the Heartbreak Kid, Young Baka. And when I come to Chicago, I check in, I get on the radio with the S.H.I.T.S podcast. One more time, man. Give a big shout out to the S.H.I.T.S podcast. Young Baka Productions, man. Holla us. We out here.
All right, we are back at the S.H.I.T.S podcast, and we are talking about
How the network formed.
the network form. Okay, so the network crew was formed by myself and my man Mark G.
Okay.
So
Big shout out Mark G.
What year we talking? What
man,
around
I,
what time?
I can't even.
Can you remember?
I know,
90s?
I know my oldest son was like 1, right? Jalen was like 1, right? Yeah. So like just say 2002. Yeah, 2002.
Okay.
So I
Was that
met
the Complex Simplicity era?
Yep. So I met Mark. at the Cotton Club. We did some stuff, did some music, and then I think the third piece to that was Reg from Off the Block.
Okay.
Third piece of that was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the third piece of that was Reg.
I'm learning.
Reg heard Complex Simplicity, was like, yo, that's dope. And I was like, yo, we should do some stuff together. The fourth piece to that was my cousin Brian. Me and Brian was already doing stuff together anyway.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, so then Brian had his boy Ill for Real. We was all in the crew, so then like
Right, because they ended up kind of offshooting into a little duo.
So that was like I said, the fifth piece, right?
Yes, fourth.
So that's the fourth
Outside of yourself.
All right, and then so the next piece to that was
I would have to say Bruce, because Reg knew Bruce, right?
Reg knew Bruce.
That's what I was assuming.
Reg knew Bruce. Mark gave me a beat. That beat eventually ended up being the song Super Hot. We needed a chorus for it. I wrote the chorus. Reg said, I got somebody who can do the chorus. Bruce came in, totally did the chorus. Totally different than how I fucking wrote it.
And that's beautiful when that happens, especially when it's good.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like I said it to him numerous times, and it was like, "Fuck what you talking about."
Yeah,
I'm doing it like this. Yeah.
And then the last part to that was my man Puerto Ricanism, who we met down the street at the Wendy's, down the street from the Big Wig at the Wendy's, came through, and it's like everybody was just like, "Yo, man, we might as well put this motherfucker in the crew. We need a Latino."
A token Latino, but then it turned out I was raw.
He was. I mean, like he was raw. I mean, I was just joking, but he was raw. He was raw regardless. But it was like,
you gotta be raw to be the last component. Like, yo, you know what? Fuck it. Let's scoop him up. He right.
So the second part of that, as far as the podcast goes, the podcast came along because.
Then why I hated on you for the podcast?
Okay,
Go ahead.
we can talk about that.
Yeah.
It was just me. I mean, like I've constantly stayed in contact with Deca.
Yes.
Like we joke about this all the time. His name is Gorilla Glue.
Deca, man.
Because
Gorilla.
this is the dude that keeps
mad people. He needs to be in the documentary.
He keeps all this shit going. So anyway, I came over here for some beats, and I seen this table right here, and I was like, "Yo, man," I was like, "You ever thought about doing a podcast?" And he was like, "No, but you can." And I was like, he said, "You could do it," and
that
I was like,
some shit he would say.
"Yeah." He was like, "You can do it." He said, "You give me a set day and a set time, and you can do it." And then what happened? As soon as I walked about here, I called Bub. Bub was the first motherfucker I called, and Bub was like, "Hell yeah!" So really, it just came about. Honestly, it just came about looking at this fucking table. Yeah. But as me and Bub started to do it more and more, it just became interesting because we just started to like learn people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
learn people. And then I got to commend Bub too, because listening to how the way you structure your questions, how that has evolved, it's just become, you know what I'm saying? It's become like
more fluid
and more interesting. So it started from this table, but then it grew because we just liked what we was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like the conversations we was having with people, you know, the networking opportunities, and then realizing the purpose that you do have a voice and you do want to get some shit out there. Like, so Bub comes along with the underlay for the overplay, where he really pushed shit out there to people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it came out. So go ahead, what you about to say?
That's dope. No, I basically look. I had some hate from Monsoon. I'm telling y'all, the fans of the network crew, I had some hate from Monsoon and the hate lasted for a whole 3 seconds, which is considered a moment. I was like, man, what is he doing? Right? I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, what is he doing? And I'm looking at the snippets that he's posting on the socials. And I'm like, man, he's such a talented MC. Why are you separating yourself from the music so hard? Now, as time progressed and I started to see him continuously put out music, come out on a collab, etc., I was happy. But the thing is that I had to realize, look, not everybody's in the place I'm in, right? And their growth and their evolution of using the attributes that they have. In his case, his charisma, his voice, his knowledge, you know what I mean? All of these things that he's putting forth for y'all right here on the podcast, on the S.H.I.T.S podcast. Tell him what it means.
Bubba Ball, you
Some
got
hip individuals always thinking then speaking.
some hip individuals thinking then speaking.
man.
Thinking, then speaking.
You got to think
So-
before you speak.
So what I started to see, because I had done podcasts in the past, and ironically, I would do something very thought-provoking and meaningful. What I thought was all of those things, and I would get very few views. But then I would go up there and do a shoe review for a pair of Jordans I had copped to go hooping, and I would get 15K views, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? Know what I'm saying? Like, what's
the content?
Yeah, so I'm like,
what
man, I'm
people
giving
want.
you exactly. But what I started to understand, because since I did it, I was like, man, like, why, right? But at the same token, there's a value to this. And
Yes.
aside from the value of, okay, what a stream is, right? Because that's a whole nother, we're talking about song stream and a podcast stream, right? And the value between those things, the type of promotions, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of ways we can go down that valve, but I'm not going to go that far down that. But bringing forth the personality of the individual. That's one of the things that I've failed to do, in the sense that I always try to put out curated material, stuff that's recorded for the purpose of putting it out for that reason specifically. This is kind of more freestyle, and people get a chance to know you guys a little bit more intimately on this particular platform, on this particular medium.
Yeah.
What that does is it gives you the opportunity to bring forth your personality and your character, and then you transcend to music, right? But they can benefit off of each other. So that's why I started to see, like, okay, boom, this is logical though for him, because as I started to pay closer attention, I was realizing, like, you know what, these handshake with one another. So that's what really brought me to the point where I was at peace with it, and I wanted to. I was holding back my opinion on it until I really got a true overview of it and got a chance to really internalize and understand it. So I wanted to bring it to your attention and congratulate you for having come this far. How many episodes is this now?
Man, we at what 42, 43?
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
But you said
that's fantastic.
You said a word that really struck a nerve with me.
Yes.
Not struck a nerve, but really stood up to me, and that was the freestyle part.
Yes.
So I feel like
Come on.
I feel like we should get into it, man.
He would throw this beat on. Come through, dropping them bombs. It be Tom, T-O-M, that be that P-R-ism. Spitting that wisdom over the rhythm. I'm coming off of the top, I got the headphones.
Yeah.
I like it when the young ladies come out and give me dome. I just saw Booker hit a shot. Come through, check it out, spitting Porter the Rock.
Let's go.
The Porter Rock, keeping it hot. I'm non-stop. I get the girl in the spot and make them panties drop. Yeah, yo, I'm gonna bring it, tone it down.
Let's go.
Cause I got kids around, so I don't wanna clown.
No.
C-H-I-Town. P-R-ism, I'm steady throwing it down.
Oh.
I throw you down on the floor, hit you with grappling, arm bar.
Let's go.
Yeah, then you get scarred.
It's the S.H.I.T.S podcast, some dope ass fellas. Right there, yo, my man got the Stellas. And yo, I know you hear me. You're not Helen Keller.
No.
Step up on the microphone, yo, I had to tell ya.
Yeah.
That is a lighter, yo, I'm much hyper. Do it just like this, yo, I'm not a biter, but I am a writer, also the exciter. Just like this, yo, I say the nighter, I say good night. I don't like to fight. Step on stage, dope rhymes, this what I write.
Yeah.
I look right there, I just see the phone. Do it just like this, I might go home. But not going home right now, we going downtown with the family, cause I'm about to clown. I just get around like the Tupac. I do it like that, Monsoon, I just rock. I rock the whole spot, might rock the whole block. Block 105, y'all can catch us on Fridays. Do it just like, yo, this like my day. I don't get high. Hey, calm that shit. Calm your nerves. Do it just like this. That shit is absurd.
No.
Bubble ball. Go ahead, hit the flow.
I'm finna
what
come
you
out
got.
retirement real quick. I'm just kicking it with my man Rock. I'm the coolest dread that you seen thus far. And I'm Scott, my nigga, and he's Puerto Rican-ism. And I've been kicking shit that we've been chilling. And it's not Sunday, it's a Friday. And I'm always doing this shit the highway. And I'm on the freeway with no seatbelt. Nigga, you can catch me in this winter. I melt, snow when I walk down the street to the beat. And it's my beat, check out my big ass feet. You can't step in my path cause I'm pigeon-toed. And I walk slew foot down any road. And I don't need no crew, we don't hold no balls of any man but ours, Joe. Now I ain't from the west side, you from Humboldt. We on the south side where I reside. And we slide to go get bruised in the woods and get, man, listen, I'm about to pass it back to you cause you was flowing and you be knowing on these streets where we blowing, we coming back cause we gotta take a rap.
We gotta wrap it up. Decaders gave a finger.
Wrap it up.
Wrap
that up, B.
Wrap that shit up.
Wrap
B.
it up,
It's
B.
the S.H.I.T.S podcast, y'all. It's the shit. We coming back.
Real freestyle.
Yeah, off the top. Fridays, 9 a.m. Catch us at www.theblock105. It's the shit. We coming through. We got some heat.
We are back at the S.H.I.T.S podcast. The sounds you are listening to right now, some new music from my man Puerto Ricanism.
Gotta let go.
No.
Even though it's the very thing. Big shout out Peter Jericho on the chorus. That hurts the most. Made it a vibe.
Cherish them while they're here. Don't wait till they're gone to tell them you want them near.
Give them their flowers.
Tell them you love them dearly, no need to fear.
While they're here.
You will live to regret it. I've shed so many tears.
Don't regret not doing it yet.
Cherish them while they're here.
Right?
Don't wait till they're gone to tell them you want them near.
Why would you do that?
Tell them you love them dearly, no need to fear.
Always.
You will live to regret it. I've shed so many tears.
I look back in the days.
That's nice, right
When
there.
the champ and I would prepare to play. Wake and suit up, get some breakfast and eat.
Man, I need to hear this shit on the radio, bro.
Kicks was on our feet.
I need to hear this, bro. You got to get this on the radio. You can play this on like V103 or some shit.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something.
And that's so Chicago, man. Hey, you know
First
what?
of all, let me ask you, man.
Bro, that was just dope.
Who made that motherfucking beat?
A young man by the name of Mark Bombs.
Mark Bond. That shit dope.
Mark Bond.
That's dope
Yeah.
as
That shit
fuck.
hot.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
The beginning of that shit was like, it threw me off, and then you come in. Man, that shit was a dope ass arrangement. I like that, bro.
So explain the
Where did that come from?
Explain the
Yeah,
record.
yeah,
Explain the
yeah,
record.
Yeah.
The record, typically what I do is I listen to a beat, and beats either have a specific type of a swing to it, which brings me to the
Yeah.
point where I want to give a delivery, meaning I want to give bars, or I want to deliver something conscious or life or street or club or whatever that swing is
Sauce.
what I try to, yeah, that too.
Sauce.
I got plenty of that. The Morlock Crew's coming out next week, so be prepared. With that being said, with this particular track, it's much slower and much more of a mellow vibe. The chords and the pianos brought out a particular type of emotion for me. And when I sat down with it, because I had been listening to the beat for some time and I didn't want to force anything to come out.
Okay.
But I was listening to it for a little bit and I decided, you know what, I'm going to sit with it right now. I had devised the chorus while listening to it in the car.
You
But I
wrote
was
the
just-
chorus.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. What I did was I harmonized the chorus at first. When I bring out your phone and you just.
Yeah.
And I had done it. I had inflected it in a way that I thought nobody was gonna beat. But I'm at a stage in my musical creative career where I want to experiment with, as you said, Bruce Black coming in and doing the chorus differently from the way you did it.
Right.
And when I said it's great when it happens, especially when
Yeah.
it's good, when it turns out good. So what I did was I was looking for different vocalists, and I asked somebody for a particular style of vocalist. I got a reference, contacted, boom. And when I heard it, I had to throw my hands up. I'm like, there's no need for me to sing this chorus from this point forward.
Right.
Okay.
I was like, okay, essentially the whole theme of the song is giving them their flowers while they're here. Don't wait until they're gone to do
Right.
so.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's so serious, dude. Like, I feel like that's so important, and it makes me ask the question, why don't we do it? Why don't we tell somebody, hey, man, you are really good at what you do, when people are here and you wait till they pass away and you be like, damn, they was really good at fixing cars and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you tell that motherfucker he was here? You know?
Yeah.
So I just kind of feel like that's a very important song, and that's a very important concept, and it's something that people, and I feel like I agree with Bub. That shit need to be on the radio because
Yeah.
people need to do that shit more often. So I don't know. I guess it kind of lessens the blow when people do pass away, because you kind of have this feeling like, I told them a lot of times while they was here that they was good. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always tell Durs, he's the fucking glue of all this shit.
Yeah.
I tell Bub exactly what the fuck he bring to it, like, because that's what I fucking feel. I feel like give people their roses while they here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What is one question that somebody can ask you that you think would change your life?
Ooh.
Are you really ready?
Oh.
And they can put you in that position. Are you really ready?
Are you really ready?
Oh.
Are you ready for this?
I like that. And that's-
Ism, are you ready for this? Do you have what it takes?
Why? Okay, so elaborate why.
Why would that be the only question?
Why, yeah.
People look at what's on the TV and hear what's on the radio,
Go ahead, I know where
Right.
you're going with it.
and they see the fruits of the labor, but they don't see the labor
Come on, talk about it.
that takes
Talk about
place to try to get to that precipice.
Hold on. Don't go any further. Let me interject real quick. I watched Redman on Drink Champs, and if any of you guys really love music, it's one of my favorite top 5 artists, by the way. But if any of you guys
Super nice.
want to know what music has transferred to, I remember going to stores, standing in line, trying to buy CDs, which were easily buyable, but you couldn't get them autographed by the artist. This was what you call promotions,
Meet and greets.
and they went to mom and pops and shit like that. And what they tried to do was reach the people and strengthen their fan base. That shit doesn't happen right now. Right now, music comes out on a day. You can, on your phone, you can download the album. You don't have to go to the store, worry about Best Buy selling out. You know, I mean, the fun that we had actually doing these things.
It's gone.
If you had crates, if you had records, y'all went and dug through countless vinyl. Your fingertips would be sore. I started doing this shit with CDs, so I understand what a lot of DJs went through. The lost art in that shit has been removed, but for us that experience that's a love that we'll never forget, bro. And it helps you, it strengthens you, and it lets you know that you really love this shit.
Yeah.
See, when you
There's
make
a lot
music like he does and like Durs does and whatever you guys do, when you explore your creativity in any form of music, I congratulate anyone that I consider a friend. You want to know why? Because a friend's job is to let you know when you fucking up, and a friend's job is to let you know when you really doing good, and you feel like nobody else is really acknowledging and, you know what I mean, paying attention to your work. Hey, bro, I see you. I see you losing sleep. Hey, keep doing that shit. And that might be all somebody needs sometimes. Yeah. Music is that. Music is that push. Music is that stopping somebody from slitting their wrist. Music is that stopping somebody from doing that drug that can make them relapse. You guys are powerful. Don't never forget that shit. I don't give a fuck what roadblock. I'm talking to both of y'all, by the way. Both of you motherfuckers are who I'm talking to. Yeah. Not them. I'm talking to y'all right now. No matter what the fuck is going on in your life, if you choose to make a song and it gets hard, guess what? That's the fucking song you're supposed to be making. Yeah. Cause nothing in life that's really worth it is gonna be easy. That's what I learned.
So you said, man, dude, I love that. I love that you said that question. Are you ready? Because it make you think. Like you said, I
was off guard right there. I ain't gonna lie.
You look at the shit on TV and you feel like, man, I want to have that, but you don't know what goes into it. You don't know what comes after that once you get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this shit gonna make you crazy? Is this shit going? Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely, no. There's you're nailing it right in the head. There's a lot of variations of the potential futures that could occur. One has to think almost on a quantum level to try to understand exactly what the downfalls, the pitfalls, the travail, the sacrifice. Yeah. Right. And what I mean by sacrifice, aside from the hard work that goes into it, right? Like staying away from your family, going on tours.
Oh yeah.
Things of that nature, right? So we have the youth and all the way to the older artists. So for ourselves, for example, we understand a little bit more what goes into the process because we've been enduring the process for a great deal of time.
Yeah. Right.
As it pertains to the major leagues, there will be obviously some adjustments that have to be made.
Yeah.
And we'll start to see what type of work we really need to put in to be successful.
Yeah.
Are we ready to put in that work? Right. That's on a superficial level.
Yeah.
That's
in
the
every
obvious
aspect, though.
That's the obvious thing, though.
Yeah.
The things that you don't think about are the sacrifices that you have to make.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on.
The sacrifices not only from staying away from family or going on tour, as I mentioned before, but the sacrifices, and this is really a tough one for me, but the artistic integrity. The artistic integrity of your music.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
How much of the artistic integrity do you have to give up if somebody's asking you a question like that, that's in a position to put you
where you think you want to be?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. And then when you get there, right, are you happy with where you landed?
Yeah.
So much is given, much is expected, ain't it?
So these next questions gonna be easier, somewhat. It's called First of All. So basically, what you do is, man, you just coming right off the top of the head, man. Whatever comes to mind, you just say it. All right, you ready?
I'm shadow boxing. I'm warming up. Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right. Quickest way to get blocked on Facebook.
Commenting opposite politic or religion.
Quickest way to get robbed.
Having low self-esteem.
Quickest way to get hired.
Being confident.
Quickest way to get evicted.
Destroying your property.
Quickest way to steal from Target.
I plead the fifth. On
Quickest
the grounds that I may be incriminated.
Quickest way to get your ass whooped.
Disrespect.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Yo, that was my man PR is a Puerto Rican doing the First of All. Hey, y'all heard him, man. Quickest way to get your ass whooped is disrespect, man. Y'all gotta watch y'all mouth. Shout out to people out there who disrespecting and got losing teeth. Hey, it's the Shits Podcast, y'all. It's the shit.
Everybody be talking like they know what the shits is. The podcast is real. Check on the Monsoon and Bubble Ball. This Black Knight Shy. The shits.
All right.
I'm gonna be like,
we are back.
Got the rebound legend in the house, Bryce Maddock. Grabmatic, grabbing shit with no static. Bring it.
B Rice.
B Rice.
At the Shits podcast.
He blushing and shit. Quit playing, boy, on that court. He be getting beastie out there though. That's my man though.
Hey.
Are they ready? Are they ready for it?
I think they're ready for it. Yo, we out here at the Shits podcast, so we chilling. It's a special day. We got my man Puerto Ricanism in the house. We got Sir Bryce in the house. We got Joy in the house.
Uh-oh.
We got Miss Crystal in the house.
gang in the building. Gang in the building.
Yo, my man Bubba Ball about to hit y'all with the underlay for the overplay. Y'all better pay attention, man.
Pay the
attention.
fuck attention, man. Listen, man. I made 44 years old last month, right?
Party bus.
It was a great experience. But what I'm gathering from seeing the cultures out here that are beneath me and the younger generations that are out here underneath me, right? I remember a time where I could possibly get a whooping for one area on my report card called conduct. And conduct was very serious. Like the rest of the grades mattered, but they didn't matter as much as conduct. And below that conduct grade was an area and a space for comments by the teacher. And the teacher will always write, Cavell Ball loves to talk while I'm teaching. He loves to play with the girls. I have moved him several times. Like, my teachers would use those 3 lines and some.
Right.
The words would roll off of the side of my report card. It was unbelievable. But what I noticed about my mother all throughout grammar school, all throughout high school, as long as I wasn't failing, she wasn't too concerned because my conduct was never under a C. I never got that D or F in conduct where I was just unruly. You know what I mean? Now, I was always talkative. The girls, we playing. You know how they had the desk set up, the rows. Yeah. What I did notice, it was a point in time that when I got to high school, conduct became irrelevant. I would always keep in contact with my younger cousins, whatever, all my family members. And I had a couple that came into my high school. Freshman year, I was a senior, so I laid the red carpet for them, right? Mm-hmm. And what they didn't understand was that the grammar school that they came from this was no longer that. Oh. This was a much harsher, much crueler world. So what I'm trying to slowly walk you people down into is the climate and the world that we're in. Conduct has been removed from school report cards. Yeah, your child doesn't get a grade on his or her conduct anymore while they're away from you, if that matters, right? But if it does matter to you and your child got straight F's in conduct while they were in school, wouldn't that be a direct reflection on you as the parent? So what I'm trying to get people to see is that the new school structure kind of inserted what we have now in the streets with our young generation.
I see what you're saying.
When conduct has been taken out, it was also a way of shaming a student, right? Also, another reflection I want all of us to remember up here, us 3 up here, is that I know when I found out some of my friends weren't graduating. They all senior year. Yeah. We went to school. They knew their grades weren't up to par. We went to the auditorium and they told you where to stand. And when they didn't call certain people's names, where did they tell them to go? To the counselor's office, my man, my lady. Yeah. Summer school. It was embarrassing. You could graduate through that. That was one of the most embarrassing things.
I mean, it ain't happened to me.
No, it didn't happen to you, but it happened to a lot of people that you came and went out of their high school with. Yeah. And you know what? Shame. That walk to that counselor's office. Some of those people dropped out that day due to shame. We never saw them again. A lot of people went to summer school. They swallowed that pride. Guess what? It didn't matter anyway. We were hard kids as we got younger. But as we got older, my school formed us into believing that fashion was so big. So if you were hip hop, you dressed hip hop, but you were fashionable. If you were gangster and street, you dressed gangster and street with gold herringbones and chains and rings and shit. If you didn't have money, you just dressed like a neutron. Neutrons had ways of dressing that was acceptable, and they had girls. So you had an area to fit in high school. But after high school, when the conduct left in grammar school and high school, and you got to high school and the teachers could no longer say certain things to you or do certain things to corral you back in, and the parents would come to the school and give people that you send your child to school to behave and act a certain way, and now you're hollering at these people so abruptly and ignorantly that they see why this child comes to their establishment and acts this way. So guess what? Everything is catered around ignorance right now. We have taken out the standard of life that matters. What matters is respect. What matters is morals. What matters is discipline. If you have no respect, you have no discipline, you have no morals, what do you get? You get a lot of lawless behavior. And this is what I'm bringing this to. Right now, there is no answer for what's going on in these streets that we all have to deal with. In every city, there's crime going on. A lot of music perpetrates a lot of this behavior. You know, it exposes different avenues that certain people might not even knew existed, right? Yeah. Luckily, these two gentlemen aren't a part of that group and sector. But not saying anything about that. What I'm saying is, why is it okay to disrespect yourself? Why is it okay to disrespect another human being for any reason? These are things that I just never understood. Even in gang life and gang culture, there was a respect code. Oppositions would ride through opposition's neighborhoods. Guess what they would do? They would take off their hat. Even though if it was the wrong color, whatever, they would still do certain things. They wouldn't shoot when there were women and kids on the block. They would wait. They would give that person a pass. If they caught that person out with their mother, father, whatever, they would get it. It was just respect. It was respect, and it's a question that you have to ask yourself: is how far am I willing to let this shit control me? Because no matter how you slice it or dice it, it is controlling you, right? When you drive without a license, every time a police gets behind you, between your ass cheeks is a puddle of water from sweat, because you never know if that police is gonna pull you over again. If he does, you know you bogus, you know you pop. So now you doing under the speed limit, your mind is racing, your hands get sweaty. So listen, the constant taking away from our communities all over this so-called United States, right? You seen it, gentrification everywhere. When you take away playgrounds, when you take away schools, which was part of the pandemic, now the children have been forced to learn from home. They've lost interactions with their friends, right? If it wasn't from a phone, they haven't seen their friends unless it was bumping into them somewhere. So what happens now to this generation, where before they had no excuse? They should know how to communicate, right? Now, our babies that are forced to communicate are phones and shit. We don't even know what they're doing on these computers. They're so advanced because they have to live on them for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Right. You see what I'm saying? If you don't be careful, this is the underlay for the overplay. If you don't be careful who you surrender your time with your children to, you will lose your children. And one way that the two generations underneath me, the 20-year-olds and the 30-year-olds, have lost their way from lack of discipline, no introduction to morals, and pretty much have forgotten to say fuck it about respect, because it hasn't been forced on them. It was forced on us. We had to act a certain way or we would get suspended. Our mother would get called. It was repercussions. There are no repercussions right now. They just want kids to come to school. They let them act how they want to act, and they can't touch them. They know they can go to jail. It's so many laws, but guess what? The parents have also had the responsibility lifted off them as well. Right. So there's no conduct on parents. There's no conduct on children. We just have a lawless, up in the air society that we have to maneuver through. And I wish all of us luck. You know what I mean? I don't condone any sort of violence. I don't wish violence. I don't want violence to be the way. But it seems like violence is becoming a lot more prevalent every day. So we got to watch ourselves as it gets warmer. Everybody in every city, watch yourself as it gets warmer. Just move and groove in life how you supposed to, and respect the universe. Respect yourself always and respect others, man. And you'll be okay. Never be scared in these streets. I'm never scared. I'm always cautious. So I want to spread that out too. You can never be safe enough, but you can always be cautious.
For sure. Yo, that's my man Bubba Ball.
Yeah.
With the underlay for the overplay. Like to thank him for what he brings to the show, to the podcast. Yo, shout out to my man Puerto Ricanism for coming through.
Thanks for coming through, man. On time.
Hey, early,
never late.
super early. Yo, tell them what you got coming up.
Where
they
it's
can find you at.
Where it's at.
Are you gonna be at the Shot Bap thing on Saturday?
I was thinking about it.
You need to slide through.
Come through, man. I'm gonna be there.
What I have going on right now is actually we got the Make You Leak music video.
Ooh.
And song is also available on all streaming networks. You can check out the music video itself on YouTube as well. Check us out on Facebook, Abi Cruz, or Mr. Abi Cruz on Instagram. Myself, Prism Puerto Ricanism. That's our new single. We're working on another single right now called Incarcerated.
Okay.
You're the first one to be hearing about it right now, so I'm dropping this right here on the S.H.I.T.S podcast first. Just so happens we're working on a new video, cinema camera level, this Sunday. We're going to be recording it, so it should be out in the month of July. Incarcerated. Look for it. This is going to be a posse, cuz it's going to be a production.
Okay.
And then of course my current, as just in case for the listeners out there who don't know, I put out a song every single month without fail.
Okay.
What I've done was I did Make You Leak last month. May, I did Cherish Them While They're Here. I'm sorry, May was Make You Leak. June was Cherish Them While They're Here with Peter Jericho. Big shout out, check him out on the gram as well. And then of course, this following month, we got the music video that we're gonna put out. So be prepared for that. We're staying busy with it. Got a deadline of many projects that I'm looking forward to completing. Okay. And of course, S.H.I.T.T.S is sitting on tracks that I definitely want to try to attack.
With your fingertips to touch, huh?
I hope you accept link.
Yo, we'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to the S.H.I.T.S podcast. Yo, y'all can check us out on Instagram at the S.H.I.T.S podcast. We on Facebook. We on Twitter. Man, we everywhere, man. Hit up the website www.theshitspodcast.com. Y'all see the billboards throughout the city.
That's right.
What else? We got the sip and step coming up in July. Collaboration with the Chicago Clubhouse Sports Podcast. That's gonna be off the chain for all y'all steppers out there. And that's pretty much it, unless I'm forgetting something. But yo, y'all get in tune with us. We thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to my man S.H.I.T.S, aka Gorilla Glue, you know what I'm saying, for making all this possible. And yo, we'll check y'all out next week, y'all. It's the S.H.I.T.S podcast. It's the shit.
Big shout out Network Crew.